I just sold a bag, it's a real good morning. And I'm burning on my gas, but I made a couple thousand. It got me saying, GM, good morning. I hope you make a place in a bear market, just trying to make a way, yeah. And these goblins riding up to space, but it's kind of funny, so it's all good with me, yeah. Good morning, I hope you live it well. Counting up the spread, taking care of yourself, eh. Good morning, I hope you living good. Hopefully this heat gon' get us out of here. GM, now my wrist so frozen. I just sold a bag, it's a real good morning. And I'm burning on my gas, but I made a couple thousand. It got me saying, GM, now my wrist so frozen. I just sold a bag, it's a real good morning.
All right, let's go. How is everybody doing today? We are blessed to have our host from NFT Live. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but Nifty Q's on with us today, and we got Doc Gables over here. How's everyone doing?
I'm feeling loose.
Thank you,
I'm feeling loose, Savage. Yeah, we're with Doc Gables, man. I love it. I'm loose.
This is my favorite show to come on, I have to say. I feel like I'm one of those talking heads on ESPN where they do, like, what is it called, the countdown, where they just zip back and forth between the little squares. We need the point system that they have, which I still don't understand, despite watching numerous episodes of that ESPN show. Anyway, excuse my ramble.
Subjective. I think it's just subjective, Gabe. He's just giving points to who he likes that day.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, I'll like an opinion, and the score just goes down. Whatever. So, all right, you're right. Anyway, love it. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Everyone knows everyone up here, but there was a anonymous hacker served with a restraining order via an NFT. We can cut over to that article over here. It is, I think, an epic moment inside the NFT industry. You know, they tracked him down. He thought he was safe with hiding his cash through some tornado, but they found him, and this law firm served him papers by an NFT, and I was actually really disappointed in what the NFT looks like. It's horrible.
I'm surprised the lawyers weren't good artists. Wow.
Well, I mean, come on, give us something, give us anything. And then people must not care either, because there's only 41 views on this, and before I started the show there were like 36 or something like that, so I'm sure it's some of you guys that have been looking at it, but that's crazy. They tracked him down. He thought he was safe hiding his money with a tornado. They found him, served him some papers over there.
And there's copy with that NFT, right? Is it in the metadata itself? Is that where the restraining order actually lives? Assuming there's no media attached to the NFT, right?
I don't think there's a cool video attached to it, Gabe. No,
obviously,
it's not like a rolling GIF.
No video, just no dream loop, just a little bit of text telling you to stop. Interesting.
Yeah, they
kind of a novel way to serve someone. You know, it just shows you the transparency of the blockchain for anyone that says, oh, it's anonymous or pseudo-anonymous. Well, pseudo-anonymous, yes. Anonymous, certainly not. So there you are.
Yeah, I wonder if one of us put a bid on it and we won this NFT and he sold it. Is that now our subpoena?
Yeah.
Do we win the money from the case if we win?
That would be epic.
Dude,
that's what I'm talking about.
I will tell you one thing that I took from the article that you sent. Great job putting together the stories, by the way. Like, phenomenal. I think you do a way better job of, like, preparing the guests than I do. Like Kane Mayfield said last week, you give out the syllabus for us to, like, be ready for our test here. But, dude, the one thing I took from the article, USDC can be frozen on chain.
Yep.
It was literally for, like, it was in his non-custodial wallet, but it was frozen, the USDC. So if you think you have money in USDC and you're safe and you're doing all these things, for some way Circle is able to on-chain freeze your assets, which is not Web3 in my opinion.
Maybe you should have used Tether, because Circle's ran out of New York City, as is OpenSea, and New York City is not nice on crypto at all.
Exactly. Historically not nice. Absolutely. That surprises me. So the USDC freezing thing, because I assumed USDC was just a standard ERC20. There, if that's actually the case, I'm skeptical, honestly, until I see it in the contract. If that's actually the case, it's not just a standard ERC20 that lives on Ethereum. I'm really curious to see how that mechanism works. I'll have to do a deep dive after this discussion today.
Speaking of custodial wallets or non-custodial wallets, there was some huge news that broke recently, and it was Lithuania attempting to ban anonymous wallets or your non-custodial wallet. And this is getting passed over right now, which is absolutely crazy. They're essentially saying you guys can't manage your own money. It has to be on an exchange or in like Robinhood. And this is absolutely crazy. They're saying like you guys can't control your own money. This is not blockchain Web3 either. Like I read this and my head, exploded a little bit. I was like, what is Lithuania doing over there? This is not crypto. Like I didn't even think, like I thought CBDCs were going to come out and was going to ruin everything. And then they start passing laws like this where you can't even use your ledger. You can't use your Trezor because if it's not linked to you, you're not allowed to send money off of the exchange into this non-custodial wallet. That's mind-blowing. Whoever thought of this was probably like really excited. Like these guys think they're getting away with whatever, and we're just never going to let it leave the exchange. You put the money on there, and now it's stuck on the exchange until you move it to a custodial wallet.
And it's always because of terrorists and money laundering. It always is this guise of like, there is a war-torn country that is utilizing Bitcoin to fund terrorism. Like, come on, man. But they'll use that. They'll use that, whatever they can at their disposal, they will use to implement the policy that they want to get through.
And they're not the first to propose such a thing, although they might be the first to put it into law. But it's completely out of sync with what we know both behaviorally and with how the technology actually works, right? Like it's essentially unenforceable. Like even if you have all of your Lithuanian-based exchanges require heavy KYC, no external deposits, whatever it happens to be, you're still going to find exchanges globally that don't use KYC. Your users are at least generally, competent enough to download a VPN, use a Tor browser, Tor tunnel to get to the exchange. They can still have their own self-custodial wallet, right? So it's another entry on the laundry list of regulations and laws, both domestically and abroad, that are completely out of sync with the current state of blockchain technology. Also, something I always like to point out whenever I see one of these arguments for crypto being heavily used in illicit black market goods and terrorist funding. You guys know what the number one currency is that gets used for illicit things, right? Cash money.
The dollar.
I guess I'm a terrorist now with all this cheddar right here. Whoa, what's up? Anyway, so so that's my take on that today.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to make it crazy. Like I go cash my paycheck at the bank. I take dollars out. I can do whatever I want with those dollars. They're saying, if we're moving over to the blockchain technology and your money is held in crypto or however, they're totally going to track everything. You can't even control. You can never hold your money. You can't take your Trezor and say, look, I have control of it, because they're forcing you to leave it on exchanges, which are known to be hacked and known to leak data and this one was a mind-blowing article. It is huge.
Yeah, the last piece that you pulled up too, the last story with the NFT subpoena there, talked about how they were able to track through Tornado Cash, which was just like a whole nother okay, so in one article you told me that USDC can be frozen on chain and they can track transactions through a supposed tool that was able to make your money not be able to be tracked by people that want to track your money, so there's a lot of things here that are definitely interesting to me. These are great topics, man. DP saying, well, we knew that was coming. Unfortunately, we just have to migrate to friendlier regions. Eventually, the laws will loosen. So, no.
So we hope. I think we're in for more battles like this globally as crypto adoption widens, especially in places where there might be inflation or hyperinflation. No, I'm not mentioning the U.S. here. We have a moderate inflation problem, but or healthy, depending on what side of the economic theory you fall. But places like Argentina, Latin American countries with destabilized currencies. I have a Zimbabwe dollar that I like to keep on my wall here for guests that come over where I'm explaining crypto or blockchain fundamentals. Actually, I'll pull it out right now. Why not? But places like this, where there's going to be capital flight out of reserve currencies and into crypto, that's where we need to worry about more legislation like this coming down the pipe. But I'll pull out this funny money for you guys.
Is it like a 10 billion?
Yeah, I love it. It's I think it's, I can't even count. I can't count this high, guys. It's what is that? That's million, billion. It's a $100 trillion note from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. It's actually gorgeous. It's like printed on this like shiny plastic, but like, here you go. Like, this is why people in developing countries turn to crypto when currency goes bust like this. You could buy these on eBay, but not even worth the plastic paper hybrid that it's printed on. But fascinating bill. So. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I have another one. I was collecting a few of these. What is this? This is a 500,000 unit note from Yugoslavia. I actually don't know if this one's still in circulation. I was collecting a few of these for a while, but more to be had.
Gabe's an IRL collector. Those currencies are worth more than my NFT wallet right now, too. So you're good.
Let's hope not. Holy smokes. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, it is what it is. Dude, I want to give a quick shout out to Gabe right before the episode too, man, because apparently you guys like launched a little trail, like a little game trailer too that we were touching on, but you didn't know that it was being launched. Yeah, so we have a bunch of previews that we've been, working through. We're building our whole little ecosystem for the Dreamlands, which is an extension of two of our NFT collections, Dreamers and Dreamlips. And on the team meeting, it's like, don't leak these yet. It's not ready. Like, don't share this in the Discord. And then Q says, oh, what's this trailer you just posted? I was like, trailer? I'm like, we're not supposed to be posting a trailer yet. So it was actually just one scene that I'm okay that's being shared, but I thought someone leaked the goods. We're hoping to have something in longer form that we're going to start sharing around NFT NYC, but keeping certain things under lock and key. But the preview is pretty cool. I'm excited. It's one of the animation sequences for the actual battles that the Dreamers are going to engage in on the platform that we're building. But yeah, thanks for the shout out and the mention.
I mean,
you were so excited.
Speaking of Dreamers, I loaded up one of my Dream Loops on my Stream Deck yesterday. And now that Doc's on the show, let's go.
Appreciate you.
Gotta love it.
Savage is getting down. Love it.
Nobody clipped this part of the episode out though. We're just
there's been a lot of different music deals or stuff that's been going on in the industry right now. That leads us actually into our next couple of different topics here. Well, we were talking about a couple of different things, our non-custodial wallets, and it looks like Robinhood is getting ready to launch a bunch of stuff and some wallets on their platform. And so you'll be able to trade and move your crypto around over there. But then the article that really caught me here was LimeWire linking a deal with Universal. So we could see some Taylor Swift or The Weeknd or Drake coming out with some new NFTs over on LimeWire. So if you guys are sleeping on LimeWire, don't.
Yeah, so this was another great story that you brought up, Savage, because I'm reading it first of all, I didn't even know it went down. That Universal Music Group, I guess, went into collaboration with them as well on this app. Is that correct?
Yep.
The LimeWire piece, dude. This is such a cyclical story. Like going from ripping off artists in the early 2000s to now coming around and providing them potentially a platform where they can actually get more access and be able to monetize themselves a little bit better is like such a cyclical story, man. I love it. It's like a hero redemption arc.
Yeah, I was wondering what LimeWire was up to when they started buying up all these different streaming platforms, because they spent a ton of money capturing LimeWire and Napster. And now you see what they're doing. They're inking up a deal with Universal over here, and they're saying they're gonna, allow their artists to offer NFTs featuring content such as audio recordings, bonus tracks, backstage footage. So previously, when we were talking to artists and stuff, they were saying that in their contract there was nothing about NFTs, so they were allowed to release stuff that they wouldn't be able to release elsewhere because like the label owned it and they were able to sell it themselves. So I wonder if all these different groups are now starting to write NFTs and all this different stipulations or whatever into their, artist's contract. So they're saying like, you guys can't do this. Like we're owning 100% of this.
Likely to be baked in, right? Or you get the
Yep.
the deal where the label retains 50% of it, which seems to be fairly standard. I still think that's likely to be a more beneficial model than current streaming models, for example. Like, Taylor Swift, Drake, U2, the other artists I saw on that list, they're not hurting for capital, right? But the mid-tier artists, the artists that are merging, independent artists that maybe just got signed to a label, and if you go back to the history of a lot of these recording deals, like many of these advances that artists get are just loans, right? And now it's like people aren't even buying albums, right? We're not buying CDs, at least to the same degree. Vinyl sales are up, right? But that's still for the rare collector that has a turntable. I think the NFT distribution model will serve the average musician much better than say the pennies that Spotify is going to dole you out quarterly, because it's not a lot of capital.
Everyone's been saying Solana summer. Is it really music NFT summer?
I'd love to see
I like what the NFT music scene is doing, man. I think there's a lot of these platforms, these streaming platforms. YouTube is another one, although that's unrelated a little bit to music. But all of these larger platforms are moving into NFT adoption, which I think we'll see like Q4 maybe. Maybe even just like a 2023 thing. Although that sounds kind of crazy to say out loud, but I think those are going to be really fucking cool when they come out. Is like the NFT integration into Spotify, YouTube. We're seeing some in Instagram as well. So we're at this like adolescent stage with NFTs, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do anything anonymous, you might get a subpoena sent your way from this law firm over here. So make sure you're minding your P's and Q's over there.
That's the new Web3 troll, is making up fake subpoenas and just dropping them into people's wallets. Sorry, I just gave a whole bunch of bad actors some terrible ideas, but yeah.
Oh, that's gonna happen. I thought people were gonna be getting married on the blockchain first, and someone was gonna rug, and it was gonna be super funny. But really, what it is it's probably all these gamer degens. Instead of doing like, FBI raids on people, they're gonna start dropping fake subpoenas and freaking everybody out. That's
Exactly.
oh, horrible.
Incidentally, you just brought up marriages on the blockchain. So I happen to live in Nevada, and we have a county here, Washoe County, where they're actually leveraging blockchain for marriage certificates. Incidentally, this has been happening since 2018. But quick Google search will bring up little Washoe County here in Nevada, not Las Vegas. It's a little more north. But
you guys are on your way to being an NFT capital of the world.
Nevada has a lot of pro blockchain legislation, which I personally was involved in some of the lobbying for back in the 2019 session. Actually, so we're progressive in that sense. Yeah.
OG Gables.
Exactly. Yeah. Although that's not even that OG in this space, right? But yeah, well, at least before many. So yeah.
I mean,
humble brag over here.
You start hearing some people saying they've been in NFT forever, and then you start, I'm expert in this and expert in that, and then you talk to them inside Twitter Spaces or whatever, and they're like, oh, I got in like 6 months ago.
Yep, check that OpenSea account created in November 2021.
Nothing was worse than the Clubhouse days when we knew that they were here like 2 weeks ago, and they were here like hosting a Clubhouse space, like 1,000 people. You're like, all right, I'll see my way out.
Kind of
Speaking of OGs,
glad
man.
Clubhouse has gone the way of the dinosaur. Some people are still using it. Go ahead, Q. Sorry.
No, I was saying, speaking of OGs, like I'm not in the host box here. Savage is doing the hosting. I feel loose today, but I wanted to hit the chat, man. Llama, Prodigy, Easy, Hash Rhymes, a lot of OGs here, OG lads. Space Smells Like, so they're hitting up that chat pretty well, man. Good to see y'all.
Now that we're on the OG train, who was missing from this talk about LimeWire and all their music stuff? Because Jay-Z's not on Universal, but what he is doing is working with Jack Dorsey, launching a Bitcoin Academy, and he's giving out some phones and some Wi-Fi and a little bit of crypto. So it pairs up really well with, you know, teaching young black youth on how to, you know, be financially literate. And they're talking about what is real money, and real money is on the blockchain, as we all know. And I thought this was really cool. It's good to see, you know, Jack doing stuff now that he's no longer, you know, doing a whole lot with Twitter. But I think he's doing something a lot cooler. He's hooking up with, you know, one of the real OGs over here, Jay-Z, and they're making big waves. So very cool stuff.
Love to see it. I'll give my 2 cents on using, well, not really using Bitcoin, but teaching literacy about Bitcoin. I generally think it's a positive thing, right? And some people say, well, why are you teaching individuals like to get into this high risk asset class, right? And I go back to my early days of buying crypto. Like, my financial literacy did not come from my parents. It didn't come from my education. I got my financial literacy through cryptocurrency, right? Like, if you ask the average retail trader, Robinhood user, someone that throws money at their 401k or occasionally buys a stock or two through, you know, brokerage account, Fidelity, E-Trade, whatever, like, ask them how markets work. Ask them how the buy and sell sides of order books. Ask them about financial derivatives. Like, most people won't have clear or cogent answers for those things. However, if you approach markets from the way crypto works, if looking at even centralized exchanges like Coinbase Pro, for example, will give you a little more transparency. Coinbase isn't the great entry point, but a lot of these exchanges, you get to look at the liquidity. You can see the trading volume. You can see the books stacked, you know, price point by price point, and where they meet in the middle and where the action happens. And it becomes this sort of revelation where you realize, oh yeah, this is how financial markets work. And most retail investment apps don't teach you that intrinsically through their user interfaces or your user experience or the way that you buy. By throwing someone into crypto, I think there's a lot of fundamental questions to how assets, various asset classes, various financial products work that can help inform some of their more general questions about financial literacy. So I think this is a really cool program that Dorsey and Jay-Z are undergoing here, the Marcy projects. Yeah. That's cool. Also giving back to his roots. It's great.
It's dope that they're doing it in Bed-Stuy for sure. That's like a really cool product. And they said they were going to move this to like different areas in New York City as well, maybe different you know, boroughs as well. So that was a really cool aspect to see. Dude, I'm interested in the onboarding aspect for young people whose internet literacy is like sky high from 5 years old. Yeah. Like, how interesting, you know, and how that lowers maybe the barrier for, you know, cryptocurrency adoption. Maybe explaining it to a 5-year-old's a little bit easier than explaining it to an 85-year-old, you know, because they've been in that space. So, you know, typically we're in this like kind of bubble with people in and around our age and our interests. But it's interesting, like, getting outside of that, right? Which I think they're trying to do here in Bed-Stuy. Guys who maybe never have heard, guys and gals who have never heard of crypto, and putting Bitcoin in their hands and showing them how to do it. That's dope. But yeah, I will look to see, like, in the next coming years, okay, explaining this to my cousin who's 10 years old, does she get it a little bit better than my aunt or uncle? Maybe.
Probably, right? There's less friction there in general, right? Like, they haven't formed around conventional ways of managing their money, or a 10-year-old, right, isn't really managing any money. But if you teach them before there's, you know, specific behaviors and preconceptions about how things work, they can, you know, take to the technology a little more easily. Especially, like, one of the biggest hurdles is, like, where does your money live? Like, how often have you encountered an OpenSea user, for example, that just got into NFTs that thinks their NFT lives on OpenSea? Like, they don't understand that, no, like, the token lives on a decentralized network. It's hosted on computers all over the globe, and sometimes your media is as well. Same sort of logic applies to crypto, right? And they think, well, the money lives at Coinbase. No, it lives on this network, but you're only giving Coinbase access to move it, versus explaining how a wallet interfaces with a network to a 10-year-old that's never used a bank account that's intrinsically custodial, or a brokerage account that's custodial, et cetera, et cetera. So less preconceived notions to overcome, that less functional fixedness, as the psychologists call it. But yeah,
we were talking about how it is confusing to track the blockchain or whatever, and that made me think of something that I saw this morning on Twitter. Bitcoin's too confusing to understand. I can't hold it. And they're like, tell me how the fiat system works. So it tied in perfectly. And
so
maybe
tell me how IPFS works. Tell me how the internet works that you're using every day.
Yeah,
exactly.
Everyone uses the internet now. Maybe we should touch on the difference between custodial and non-custodial wallets for some of the people out in our audience that don't know the difference. Like, this article does a really good job here. It says, a custodial wallet, requires the custodial, like if it's Coinbase, it requires their permission to do anything with it, and then they own your private keys. And then like transaction types or something. So security, they talked about, people getting hacked if you're leaving your money on the exchange. But if you lose your key, they're able to get it back to you, but you have to have internet access so you can actually look at your money, and a bunch of different stuff like this. So I'm still blown away from this topic. Still absolutely blown away from this topic. I would have never have thought someone was going to say it'll be illegal to use your Trezor.
Well, most people are going to not care about non-custodial wallets anyways. I think most people that will hold Bitcoin will hold it in a way that they feel comfortable with, which is not in a non-custodial wallet. My mom, for example, is not going to write down a 12-word passphrase to make sure that she can secure her funds in a non-custodial wallet. She'll much rather use Coinbase, and that goes for most of the world. Although I might be painting with a broad brush, most people are going to want to just hold their crypto on something that resembles their bank.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, and fundamentally, that's how we get broad adoption too. Like, they're just, I will preach the "not your keys, not your coin" phrase often. However, when I'm onboarding new users to crypto, I often just point them at Coinbase. I say, turn on your vaulting, turn on two-factor authentication. Some of these institutions are trustworthy. That doesn't mean they're completely hack-proof, but mind you, I highly doubt Coinbase is keeping 90% of their assets in some hot wallet that someone could access. Like, you have some assurity there that no one's going to come in and compromise your funds if you're using the appropriate security protocols. But that's how we get broad adoption, right? And same thing goes for NFTs. We haven't yet found that killer app. However, I did see on DJ Savage's list of topics for today, Robinhood's looking at some custodial solutions, right? There we go.
Yep, and they're working with Venmo, so this is huge.
Yeah.
Even if we go to, I was reading another article over here on how Bitcoin might actually save small businesses because no one's using cash anymore. And if you're not using cash, you have to pay fees to your credit card companies. And if you're working on super small, like profit margins, I mean, paying the fees over to these credit card companies can really hurt you. And so they're saying, like, we're going to start moving all these transactions over to the blockchain and putting your Bitcoin to work, and it might actually save all these different small businesses, because that 3-4% that the credit card companies are getting is wrecking all these different small businesses. So then when we were looking at Venmo doing stuff along with Robinhood's actually the platform that I send people to when they're new. I'm like, you probably don't want to write down this seed phrase. I know you're going to lose it. Why don't you just hop over on Robinhood, purchase it over there. You can forget about it. They'll always let you back into your account. So I do agree that there are some people out there that aren't responsible, might lose their key. which I was talking with about on Easy Street last night. You know, even if you write down all your keys, if you don't write down where you've saved these like bookmark links or what that's for, you just have like a big long string for a wallet and you don't know if it's Tezos, you know, Ethereum, XTZ, whatever. I was just chatting with Easy about this last night because in my password book I was looking at it and I'm like, what is this? What does this go to? And then you have to like struggle to type it into a bunch of different wallets to figure out, oh, that's an XTZ wallet. Ah, dang.
That's another note. Everyone says write down your seed phrase. You got to write it down and label what it's for, because once you've got 10 of these different wallets for different networks, it's going to be a game of brute force figuring out where to reestablish that key if you ever forget. Let alone if you like die unexpectedly and a loved one has to recover all your funds. Like, holy smokes, you need to give them a treasure map to figure it all out. So go ahead.
Security alpha on NFT Live, man. We're getting security alpha here today.
Hey, I mean, maybe if you lose your money, you can just go talk to Coinbase, and if it's USDC, they'll be able to pull it right out of your treasure. Like, look, we got it right back for you. Isn't it?
There's no way they can pull it out of your wallet. I'm almost positive, but the fact that they could freeze it on chain is crazy. The point I was going to make while you were talking, Gabe, was VPN that you were talking about earlier. What is the amount of users of VPNs globally? Because that to me feels like
that's a great question.
That feels like a good subsection of people that would then be into non-custodial wallets. Like the amount of people that do VPNs is probably the amount of people that want to do non-custody. And the rest of the people that don't know what the hell a VPN is probably don't care about custody that much. Again, there's going to be some outliers, but those type of people that care about internet security, care about and just security in general and privacy in general, probably would go through some hoops to set up a non-custodial wallet. What do you got, Gabe?
Here's a couple stats. Quick Google. Trust at your own risk. But one article says 68% of adults in the U.S. use a free or paid VPN. I don't buy that statistic. What? Another article says there's 38 million active users in the United States alone, which seems closer to where I'd estimate, which is around like 10% of U.S. citizens, or a little higher than that. But another one says there's 142 million VPN users in the U.S. I bet that's many people with multiple accounts, though, too. I don't know that many people with good like data hygiene and privacy concerns, frankly. Like if I went through 10 of my friends, I feel like only 2 of them would have ever installed a VPN. So, I'm going to trust that 38 million active user statistic a little more. But that's like, at least for North American users, 1 in 10, right? That might, if your logic holds, that might be interested in managing their keys, right?
I mean, if they can track your money through Tornado when you thought you've successfully hidden it, who's to say they're not able to track you right through your VPN right back to you? Like I think they can probably do that too. They're lying to us.
It's all a sham.
It's all a sham.
Yes and no, right? So the VPN's only as secure as the provider. If your provider starts serving up data to an agency or some third party, then you're bust, right? We also know that there are compromises to Tor. For anyone that ever attends like security conferences, I used to be a regular attendee at DEF CON here in Vegas year to year. I'm not an engineer. However, there's a lot of non-engineer friendly talks, and we know there's compromises to the Tor network where you can compromise basically nodes or endpoints and reverse engineer where the user's coming from. So there's multiple layers of security you need to be implementing there if you want to be truly anonymous. But yeah, I mean, there's always man in the middle problems with so many of these protocols, unfortunately. Not to say you shouldn't use them, but it's a matter of like, don't assume that anything you ever do is truly anonymous. So, don't be a bad actor in general, then you shouldn't have to worry about this stuff. But
Are you muted?
Oh, that was it.
Oh,
I think I ended my
Savage.
No, I was muted.
Sorry. Oh, got it. Okay.
One of the other things I was reading this week or earlier today is I think it was Oasis maybe, and they had a bridge issue, and everyone was saying bridges are usually the weakest spot in the whole process. It seems like all these bridges keep getting compromised and people keep getting hacked and losing money.
Well, that's because that's where the funds are stored. So that's like the honeypot of where they're going to go for. Like you're not going to break into a bear's not going to break into a honeycomb that has no honey. You know what I mean? So those bridges have hundreds of millions of dollars in them, which makes them attractive.
Yeah, stay away from me. I don't have hundreds of millions of dollars. With the bear market over here, we'll be lucky if we have any money. That's okay though. We are still here. We are still here.
That's why I'm planning to meet many of you at like Sbarro and McDonald's for NFT NYC.
Oh, yeah.
Like, last time we were hitting up like Michelin-starred restaurants. This time, take me to the Subway. Yeah, maybe if I'm lucky, I can, I don't know, afford like an Arby's Sando or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be tough times for the dining experiences in a couple of weeks.
First of all, Gabe, the restaurant that we went to was fucking awesome, by the way. Like, I am so upset. You're being too humble, though, because you are going to APEFEST. You just got your notification right before.
Oh, yeah. Don't out me like that. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was I updated my token proof app, and I looked at the only day I could go, and I got a ticket. I'm excited. I'm going to go see it. I'm just going to increase Nifty's FOMO here. But I think it's going to be stacked. They're doing it in sort of like a festival feeling environment. That I know there's APEFEST last year, but I feel like the production didn't feel as festival like as this one does, despite them having some heavy hitters. So I'm expecting them to bring the heat this time with the performers. And I like seeing the speculation on Twitter of who it's going to be. I've seen people saying it's going to be Kendrick, it's going to be Snoop, it's going to be Eminem. I'm only naming hip hop artists right now, but I guess that tells you the music I like. But I'd love to see it. Yeah, it'd be great if some of these celebrity apes showed up. Go ahead.
That would be fucking sick. Like a Bieber live performance would definitely get our floor price up back to normal levels. Dekent is asking, token proof sounds awesome. How do you invest in it? Is there like a token associated with token proof?
So
Gabe?
They do. They have a token proof NFT. It's the token proof founders pass. I like their team. Got a couple contacts over there. They're doing cool stuff. That being said, I'm not quite sure how the token proof founders pass actually ties to the product. And they've even claimed as much. Like this isn't an access thing, but if you want some exposure to the things that we're doing, this is the vehicle, but they're a little cagey about how you get that exposure. But I think I think it's just token proof founders.
Oh, I can look that up.
Like that. Yeah. Token proof founders circle. Yeah. And it's pumped a bit, 0.6, assuming not, this is, do your own research, not financial advice, but assuming that all of these token proof gated events go swimmingly and without too much hassle or too many bugs, I can see the valuation on these founders passes popping a little. And I think they've increased considerably even over the last few days. They were at a quarter ETH only a few days ago. But yeah, they're building a cool product. It's, again, though, one of these things, it's a B2B product that they're providing for NFT teams. Confused about how the consumer component goes, right? Because it's ultimately they can monetize their business model through charging the apes or charging whoever. Although I think most of the teams that are utilizing this for NFT are getting it free of charge for NFT NYC, which is really cool. So they're doing this really neat sort of like user testing essentially with this conference as the test bed. And I think it's going to be awesome.
Is the application token authentication essentially? That's it, and it gives you like an event ticket. Is that what basically it is?
The nice thing is that it's not like using your wallet, right? Like no one wants to roll up with their mobile MetaMask with potentially tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in NFTs and have to sign or scan or expose something. So you verify with the app, and then the app itself just sort of shows you your tickets or events that you've registered for, and you don't have to re-expose your wallet every time you check in. So it's sort of a secondary layer that is querying what you have, ensuring that you still have it, but you don't have to go in and sign or interact with any potentially malicious contracts as you're moving through the world and going to various events. So it's a really novel sort of extra layer on top of, it's not really an extra layer, but it's a nice application that touches and interfaces with your wallet, but doesn't introduce any security risks, if you will.
Yeah, getting rugged and losing all your money or getting hacked sucks. It sounds like OpenSea is finally starting to put in some measures in place to prevent that, because they were getting a bunch of shade thrown on them recently about how, you know, they make 2.5% on every sale, so they're not like incentivized to stop hacks and stop scams on their platform. But they're hosted in New York City, and so they're coming under pretty big scrutiny, it seems like, here. And they might be changing their ways here, because they're going to get in trouble with the old government there. We'll see what actually shakes out from this. What do you got, Nifty?
No, they completely shaded Devin Finzer there. They called him Darren Finzer, and then in the article, Nathaniel Chastain. They're all over the place with the naming pieces on that article. Was that Decrypt? What article was that?
Couch Potato is the one that I'm on right now.
Couch. Oh man, I love Couch Potato too. Come on, guys.
Yeah, dropping the ball here, kind of like OpenSea with all these hacks and scams. I thought I was getting away from OpenSea using Gem, but they purchased Gem not too long ago. So
if I held a gun to your head, metaphorically held a gun to your head, would you say that Coinbase NFT in 2 years is going to do half the volume of OpenSea?
Man,
because it's been a complete flop. Like, what is the total volume today of Coinbase NFT? Apparently, like, they were showing screenshots of like 85 ETH, maybe it might have been 12. It was bad, and I was like championing Coinbase NFT, man. I was like, this is gonna be the next thing. It's gonna compete with OpenSea, finally get them started building, you know, other than just like maintaining their spot at the top. And Coinbase NFT was a complete flop.
I think it could still be good, and I also think we're not in a phase where a lot of new users are coming on board into NFTs at the moment, and which obviously sucks, especially for a marketplace launch. But I'm of the opinion, and it's my forecast, that we're going to see, you know, some sideways action, not a lot of new users coming in, but then there'll be another cycle, much like we've seen with, you know, crypto in the last decade, and then NFTs are going to be all the rage, and we're going to be onboarding or doubling or tripling our overall user base, and that's where I think we're going to see a pop and some adoption of Coinbase NFT, because they're capitalized to just keep building this, to keep introducing more features, and we know there's more in the pipeline. This isn't it, right? And we know there's social components and there's other aspects and feature sets that they've talked about or even scoped, but haven't launched yet. And I think they can come in and be a player. The other way they can do it is make sure they undercut OpenSea's fee structure. What is the trading fee on Coinbase NFT? Does anyone know what their take is, if any?
They were doing free fees for a while. They were introducing for some of the beta users, no fees, but nice. I don't know what it is now.
See if I can pull up their terms of service over here. Fees here. I'll switch. Let me move my mouse over here. Oh, looks like I got my stuff calculated wrong here, so maybe I'll read it. I'll search through this article and see if I can find it while you guys continue to entertain the people out there.
All right. I think it's time we sing our song. No, I was just making that same joke. No, I kind of. There needs to be something relevant. I suppose it could have been rapping some Jay-Z today. Yeah.
So.
But,
yeah, Raphael is saying no. My wallet does more volume than Coinbase. So yeah, we're deep in the thick of it here with Coinbase NFT volume. The part that you brought up there, Savage, was actually like their discovery page with the actual volume, not on their platform, but just in general on that token itself, or that token collection. So I would love to see, you know, what their actual volume is, but maybe we don't find it. Maybe they've cleverly hidden it.
Yeah, well, once they saw that the metrics were out, they said we gotta do something, guys. I think that they're planning for mass adoption, and they don't care about us, the people that are currently in the space. They know it's hard to get the OGs or the people that are already doing this to move over to their platform. They probably experienced that because they have all the analytical data from Gem, so they realize that Gem probably didn't steal too much business away from OpenSea. So they're like, we're not going to get, you know, a big foothold in the market right now. So maybe when everyone's using crypto everywhere because they're dropping all our money to us, you know, in a CBDC form or whatever, maybe that's when they're going to make their big push. Because I still think Coinbase is going to be, you know, one of the dominant, if not the dominant platform out there. However, you know, FTX just passed them, and users and stuff the other day. So I don't know. I thought Coinbase was going to stick in the number 1 or 2 spot, but Binance is holding it down, followed up by FTX and then Coinbase. So they seem to be slipping kind of everywhere. Maybe they need to fire somebody.
That's a that's an interesting topic, man, because FTX and Binance really haven't hit anything significant on NFTs at all. You know, the FTX tried their NFT marketplace as well. I don't even know what that marketplace looks like now, but it's definitely not doing anything significant. So these exchanges that do a lot of volume in, you know, cryptocurrency tokens haven't cracked the code for NFTs.
Hell, maybe Robinhood will be the one to do it. I guess there's a chance.
Household names help, right? When you've got, although it looked like they're going to launch it as a separate app, but imagine, you know, they'll do some cross promotion through their Robinhood brand and to their users. You know, establishing that trust and familiarity, you know, matters when you're trying to onboard a user to a new product or a new, you know, speculative, risky thing, i.e., NFTs. Yeah.
Hey, NFTs are not dead. I don't know if I have that article still pulled up over here. Maybe I can find it. But they were saying it looks like it's down really hard or something like that. But in reality, when you compare it to how much fiat has moved, they're not really down that hard. And they said something crazy, like they're expecting $80 billion or something in the NFT market over the next 2 years or something. Let me see if I can find that article here.
Yeah, while you're at it too, if you could find, by the way, I sent you a link of the cumulative trading volume all time on Coinbase NFT to your Discord. That's a phenomenal number. I can't wait to show everybody that. But Raphael is saying Coinbase is waiting for the coming stampede of North American new users entering the space after we get through regulation and all this shit. Dude, I saw somebody post a NFT, I think it was a Google NFT search term on like Google Trends or anything like that. That chart looks absolutely horrendous. So it's not something that I've kind of like internalized. I mean, I knew we were in the bear market, but they're probably going to do better once we see that turnaround, like everybody else. But Coinbase NFT specifically, when we see that come around, I think we'll be okay.
Agreed. That being said, we know Google search terms, or sorry, Google Analytics, or the total search volume for NFTs is down. But if you look at OpenSea's volume, we're only about half off. I mean, 50% is a huge hit, but we're about half off in monthly trading volume for OpenSea, comparing May to January of this year. I think January was like just shy of $5 billion in trading volume, and now we're at like 2.5 for May. June is to be seen, but that's not as dead as some users might make it seem. That being said, we're mostly just trading with ourselves. It doesn't look like new users are coming in. We're all trading free mints and goblins back and forth, so there's that.
Yeah, the goblins. I can't believe they're still pumping, guys. I think you just have to like dump your brain. Like if you think it's the horrible degen play, maybe invest there.
Dude, make fun of goblins. They just get stronger. That's make fun of them at your own risk, man. Because that project is here to stay.
Yeah, I get it. Looks like it. Definitely does. And I shut down my Discord so I could do all this streaming here. So a little bit difficult to get it back up and get it running here and see if I can find these articles. I need another computer so I can offload all my streaming power. So if any of you guys out there are feeling generous, and you got some fat bags, send them on over. Send them on over. I'll take it.
Raphael's got a lot of good comments, man. He said, turn on trading for all tokens, then we'd see volume like crazy. That's one thing Coinbase could definitely do. You know, open up trading for, you know, a lot of different tokens that they have on their platform, obviously. Although that was one thing that you could say that's negative for Coinbase, is that they completely just like listed everything at the end of that bull market phase there. Kind of screwed a lot of early investors, I think. They could have been a little bit more careful with what they were listing, but they were chasing that volume.
Yeah, there's so many articles. I had like 40 articles pulled up earlier today when I was trying to decide which one I was going to use on the show today. So finding the one that I was looking for, not happening. Not happening. But this has been super fun. It was I was definitely nervous for this NFT Live because you get Nifty up here, who's the OG in this space and the expert host, and I've never been real nervous launching NFT Live before. But it feels like I got an expert with me. Not that Doc's not an expert; everyone's an expert.
Yeah.
But it was first time sweating a little bit over here.
A fine job, Savage. I think you're killing it, man.
Let's go.
Savage, you're doing a great job, man. Love to see it. Where are you right now, by the way? Is that like a Marvel Universe situation going on? Like,
I mean, we're chilling in my living room. Just pulled up a random background just because it was something that I don't have to really have color matched really well. So if I move the green screen, you can see what's behind me. Here we go.
midstream.
Love it.
Why
Takes it
not?
down.
Why
Pulls
not?
back the
Literally
curtain.
pulled
Yeah.
back the curtain.
You walk in my house and you just see a big green, like clothes hanging, like clothes wire or whatever, stretched across my house, and people are always like, "What is that, dude? It takes up like most of your house." And I pull out this big green curtain and slide it across, and I'm like, "That's the green screen." And they're like, "I've seen the ones behind the chair." Like, we don't play around with that rookie stuff. We're like, we're all in, all in. Just like this anonymous hacker over here. He's all in with the restraining order. Rip to him. Rip to him. I feel for you, guy.
DeKensis has given you a 5-star in the chat. He said, "Did he pass today's assessment?" So if Savage passed today's assessment, I need stars in the chat, man. Love it.
Perfect.
More stars. I'll throw some stars up.
This has been a wonderful episode today, guys. You were talking about New York City get-togethers. Definitely a little jealous over here. I don't think I've been anywhere, and we can always close on a little bit of disappointment with Nifty Q, right?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I will not be at NFT NYC, and that's the last I want to talk about it on today's episode. Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. We will see you guys inside the Discord. Be sure to check out. Oh, actually, I wanted to close. I almost forgot. I'm gonna talk to Fun Uncle right now. I want to hear a good conspiracy theory about this whole space right here, because we're talking about a bunch of crazy stuff that's popped up, and I think Fun Uncle can come up with a sweet conspiracy theory, and I want to hear what it is, because he's the king of conspiracy theories. So challenge has been set. I will look forward to listening to that on Sunday with Fun Uncle. Be sure to tune in and check us out inside the Discord. And on that note, we're gonna close it out, and we're actually gonna play the actual video from the song that's been playing in the background this entire time. This dude is super, super talented. So we're gonna shut this down with
What's his name?
July.
That's right.
July. Yeah.
Here's my prediction. Last night at APEFEST, the big headliner, it's July, and then the crypto boy girl whose name I've forgotten. They're going to be headlining all of APEFEST. I'm kidding, obviously, but this guy is great. Oh, it's the same guy that did the verse with her, right?
Yes.
He's quite talented. I'm impressed.
Yeah, we need him on NFT Live for sure. He's talking about goblins too, so look at that.
I want to be on that episode. Get me on that episode.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
I just want to give him props for the Arby's line when in his verse for the Crypto Boy song. I got a good chuckle out of me. So, all right.
I don't even think
Play
I know
us out,
that
Savage.
one. I'll have to go look that song up.
Yeah.
We'll
Check
get
out
July
his
on the
verse.
channel.
Yeah,
we know we need
go.
July on the channel 100%. He could make potentially an NFT Live song. We'll see if we can make that happen for you guys,
Challenge number 2 set on today's episode of NFT Live. We're going to make it happen, guys. It's going to happen. All right,
Dope.
July.
Our vibe, our tribe.
Goblins riding up to space, but it's kind of funny, so it's all good with me, yeah. Good morning, I hope you living well. Counting up the spread, taking care of yourself, eh. Good morning, I hope you living good. Hopefully this heat gon' get us out of here. GM, now my wrist so frozen. I just saw the bag, it's a real good morning. And I'm burning all my gas, but I made a cup